everybody. It's Mr. Tim from Youth Hope. Youth Hope, we love Youth Hope. Yay, Youth Hope. I just want to say from everybody here at Youth Hope, we miss you. Do you want to read a book? Great, that sounds awesome. What book should we read? You like the Berenstain Bears too? I know Mr. Tim does. Let's find out what the Berenstain Bears are up to. There was trouble in the big tree house, down Sunny Dirt Road, deep in bear country. Trouble with manners. The bear family's trouble with manners was they forgot them. At first, it was just an occasional please or thank you that was forgotten. Then there was a rude push without an excuse. Then a reach across the table. Instead of a please, pass the broccoli. Mama Bear wasn't quite sure how or why it happened. But she was sure of one thing. Whatever the reason, the bear family had become pushing, shoving, name-calling, an ill-mannered mess. At the table, it was even worse. They were grabbing, food stuffing, food fighting, kicking under the table, super mess. Of course, Mama Bear tried to correct Brother and Sister Bear's behavior. She tried coaxing, she tried complaining, she tried shouting, she tried going to Papa Bear for help, though it sometimes seemed to Mama that he was part of the problem. Papa banged on the table and shouted as only he could shout, but nothing seemed to do any good. Mama didn't like what was happening to her family. Not one bit. Something had to be done. But what? The best way to fight bad habits, she thought, was with good habits. Then she thought of a plan. She got a big piece of cardboard and a marker. At the top she wrote, "The Bear Family Politeness Plan." When the plan was finished, she called a family meeting and showed it to Papa and the cubs. It certainly got the Bears family attention. The Bear Family Politeness Plan. Rudeness and a penalty. Forgetting to say please or thank you. Pushing or shoving. Clean 2 rugs. Interrupting. Name calling. Forgetting to say excuse me. Hogging the bathroom. Mama's plan had a list of all the rude things she wanted to stop. Besides each one was a penalty. A good job or chore that went with it. If you forgot a please or a thank you, you had to sweep the front steps. If you pushed or shoved, you had to clean 2 rugs. If you got caught name calling, you had to clean the whole cellar. Mama Bear sputtered the cubs. "You're not being fair." "It seems to me," she said, "you're the ones who aren't being fair to yourselves or anyone else. That's what manners are all about. Being fair and considerate. Manners are very important. They help us get along with each other. Why, without manners..." "Your mama's absolutely right," interrupted Papa. "Thank you, Papa, for your comment, but interrupting is the number 3 rule on the list. And the penalty is dusting the downstairs," Mama said, and handed him the feather duster. Said Brother. "This looks serious. I think we'd better come up with a plan of our own. Or are we going to be doing a lot of extra chores?" "What sort of plan?" asked Sister. "Well," he said, "instead of just being polite, we'll be super polite. We'll please And thank you so much that Mama will get fed up and call the whole thing off. Yes, said Sister. We'll be so polite, she won't be able to stand it. They put their plan into action. They were super polite. On the stairs. After you, sister dear. Thank you, brother dear. In the hall. Excuse me, brother dear. Why, certainly, my dear sister. Waiting for the bathroom. Terribly sorry to have you keep you waiting. Think nothing of it, my dear. But it didn't work the way they expected. Mama didn't get fed up at all. After a while, brother and sister forgot all about being super polite and were just polite. At the table, pass the honey, please. Certainly. In their room, would you like me to help you pick up your toys? Thank you very much. In the yard, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to bump you. That's all right. No harm done. It turned out that Mama had been right. Things did go more smoothly. Once they got into the good manners habit, they didn't even have to think about it. But it wasn't so easy for Papa. He was the one who got fed up. It's a little harder to change your habits when you're older, and he had to do quite a few extra chores. He was forgetting his manners. I'm glad to get out of the house, away from the politeness plan, he said as he drove the family along the highway on the trip to the supermarket. Manners and courtesy are just as important away from the house, especially on the road, said Mama. And they stopped at the sign to let pedestrians and other cars pass. They help us drive safely. Well, grumbled Papa, as they all went into the busy supermarket, I think you can have too much of a good thing. You gotta have common sense along the way. Why, if you let everyone go ahead of you at checkout, you'd be there forever. And sometimes you have to interrupt. Excuse me, ma'am, he interrupted the shopper, but I believe that you have a leaking bottle in your cart. The shopper thanked him for his help. You see, he said, driving home, there's more to life than remembering your manners. Besides, manners are all right for cubs and mama bears, but we papa bears have other things to think about. And at that moment, the car in front of him stopped suddenly, and Papa bumped into it. He was furious. Why, there was some name-calling, reminded Sister. The penalty for name-calling was cleaning the whole cellar. So Papa gritted his teeth and remembered his manners. And a good thing, too, because climbing out of the other car was the biggest, angriest bear he had ever seen. But when the angry bear saw how polite Papa was, he remembered his manners, too. He explained that he had stopped short because of a mama duck, and her ducklings had crossed in front of him. When he and Papa Bear looked at their bumpers and saw no harm was done, as I was saying, said Papa Bear, as they continued on their way, it's very important for us to remember our manners at all times. And I want to thank you, sister, for reminding me to remember mine. You're very welcome. I'm sure, said Sister Bear politely. The end. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's book, The Berenstain Bears. Did you learn anything? I sure did. I know Mr. Tim needs to work on his manners. Maybe we all do. Well, see you next time here on the Youth Hope channel. Miss you guys.